Questions?
Obviously, Rob is such a explosive player, fun player to watch. He goes on that run, and then also has that shot late in the game when Cal threw his arms up. I mean, that was a tough one that he wasn't too happy with. How do you guys kind of balance his explosiveness, right, and wanting to do a lot, with kind of reeling it in the moment?
There's a thin line between being aggressive and understanding situational awareness and time and score, and we got to help with that. But we want our guys to be aggressive, but we want them to be aggressive understanding how aggressive I need to be depending on the situation, depending on the time, depending on the score, depending on the game within the game, right? So we're gonna help him with that.
You feel like there has been a level of growth there with him? Because I feel like toward the end of, especially his AAU career, high school career, he took a lot more shots than he seems to be taking now, and a lot tougher shots than he seems to be taking now in general.
There's a premium on winning here, and he came here because he wanted to be a player that understands winning, plays to win, and he wanted. Otherwise, he would have went somewhere else where he could shoot 30 balls a game. Rob is not that kind of person. He's not that kind of player deep down inside, and that's why he's here. And so he's learning how to be that kind of player, the kind of player that succeeds in an environment like what we have.
He hits those 3-pointers and then he goes out. Did he sub himself out at that time?
I'm not sure, but all of our guys at times will sub themselves out. They have the freedom to do that. And if you sub yourself out, then Coach Cowler lets you tell him when you're ready to return back into the game. So I'm not sure at which particular moment you're talking about that he got subbed out, or maybe he was a little tired after that run. That was a heck of a run, right? So he may have been a little tired and may have axed himself out.
What does also say about him that on the last part of the run, he assisted Antonio when it looked like he could have had an open look if he wanted it, but found an open guy instead.
Yeah, he's a very unselfish player. I mean, if you've been watching it, we've seen him make those sacrifice passes and obviously elevating someone else. Like, all of our guys have to be happy with that because we have a lot of talent. I think that the whole world's seeing what we can be and what we will be, right? So with having the collection of talent that we have, you have to share, right? And you have to be okay when somebody else has got it going, right? And everybody's okay with that.
Along those same lines, is that something Tone still needs to learn? Because, I mean, obviously he was at Illinois State for 3 years. I feel like he kind of felt like toward the end of last season he kind of had to do it all on his own, and now he has a lot of talent around him.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do it alone by himself on this team. I think he understands that. And I think that he will be better in terms of, guys, it was our third college game, right? So I think we're all still continuing to learn. We had a little head start, but then we had a layoff, and now we're starting to kind of pick back up our rhythm with one another. And so I think we're still learning as we go on that. And I think we're in a good space with it. No one is, we don't have a selfish player in our locker room.
Do you think that gets lost with people that, like, obviously I think people expect the young guys to need time to learn, but for Tone and Trey, it's really a brand new team for them too that they need to get adjusted to.
Yeah, we're adjusting, and I think that we're ahead of the curve in some aspects of the game, and we're still, we don't want to be our best in the third game, right? We want to be our best later on in January, February, March. We want to start being our best right around that time. And although we gave a snapshot of what we can be, we didn't get the job done. We're disappointed about that. We felt like we were the better team. Like, our locker room knows what we have in our locker room. Other people may not understand that or may not understand what we know, but we felt like we were the better team, and maybe we let one get away.
With DJ.
Did you practice yesterday? Were you around the team?
We did not practice yesterday.
Were you around the players?
No.
Okay.
Yesterday was a day off, and it was a day off.
What the mood was like after the game? I mean, obviously, like you said, I think it showed a lot.
I think the move would have been, the natural thing would be dejected, would be down, right? I think our team felt like we were the better team. We should have won the game, and so I think that you would expect for the mood not to be joyful. Like it would be a mood that maybe disappointed is the word.
With DJ and Justin, do you think they're just kind of overthinking things a little bit or pushing themselves a little too much to try and, produce and step up?
No, we think that DJ and Justin are going to be fine. I mean, again, it's the third college game, even for them, right? Those are two we're not concerned about. Maybe someone else we would be concerned about, but not those two.
What makes you not have any of those concerns right now?
Because we have the ultimate confidence in them. We've seen them do it time and time and time again, right? To have what someone may think is a bad game, it's always about the response. So we're excited to see how they are in the first possession of practice today. Not the Stonehill basketball game, how they respond in the first possession of practice.
What were some of those things that you thought that they did well, despite not being able to score the ball that often?
I thought what they did well was being part of a team and was happy for Rob, was happy for Reed, was happy for Adu. That's what our team is about. It's not about one individual, whether you play well or play what you may think is bad. That doesn't concern us because we have a team. We have a really good team with multiple guys that can step up and do things for our team. So when it ain't your day, you got to be happy for your teammate, your brother. So I think that was the most important thing that they did, in my opinion.
When you see somebody like Adu fighting as hard as he did, how contagious is that when the rest of the guys see that?
I think it's very contagious. As you can see, the guy that kind of subbed him was Jordan Burks, and Jordan Burks came in with a lot of energy, and he pursued some balls and made some passes, and all of it is infectious, right? It's not just, it's how we're supposed to play, right? We don't want to have to coach energy. We don't want to have to coach effort. We want to maybe coach more tactical schematics, but not energy and effort. So that's how we expect for all of our guys to play.
You go from one of the biggest stages in college basketball on Tuesday night to playing Stonehill. I think I heard was ranked like 350th in the Ken Pond. How do you change that mindset? How do you get the guys?
It's always us versus us. If everybody does a little, nobody has to do a lot. So it doesn't matter who we play. Our standard is Kentucky. So we got to play our style of basketball, whether it's Stonehill, whether it's Kansas. We're still trying to, we got a goal that we're trying to accomplish this year. And with that in mind, Stonehill is part of the small picture, but there's a big picture that we got in the parking lot that we're keeping our mind on. And it's just that we play Stonehill. And to be honest with you, Stonehill does some good stuff, man. Like, whatever they rent, right? They run this motion. They're constantly off the ball screening. They play really fast. They use the off the ball screening actions to drive it, right? They put you in a situation where you got to be on high alert. You got to have heavy communication. I mean, Stonehill. So we can't think about that. We got to think about continuing to, chop wood, like, as they say, to kind of get better every day.
I know there's so much focus on this year's team, Kansas, Stonehill coming up, but you guys were able to announce the signings of 4 players coming in for next year during a early signing period. Could you touch on each of them and kind of what you hope and you and the coaches have hopes they bring to Lexington starting next year?
Very, very, very excited about this group. This group is unique in its own way, a little bit different from this current group, but it's a very, very, very good group. And start with Sumto Cyril, like he's a freak of nature, right? No one, obviously he's got to get better with his skill set, right? But he does things that no one in the world could do. Not even guys in the NBA can do some of the stuff that he does in terms of pure shot blocker, pure vertical spacer, right? He gets way over the rim. That gives you something that a lot of teams don't have in terms of vertical spacing. He blocks shots. He's an unbelievable teammate. And he's at a place that they work on skill development every single day. So he'll get better skill, but in terms of force, physicality, rim protection, vertical spacing, he's the best in the country at that. And we need to continue to have that on our team. You talk about Boogie, who's the best point guard in the country. We like guards right here, but we also understand that we had to get another guard depending on what we have, and we got the best, right, in Boogie. So we're expecting for Boogie to come in here and have the keys to the Lamborghini and drive it the right way. Not, and then you had a prodigy who is probably arguably one of the best players in the country, regardless of class. 24, 25, it doesn't matter. Jaden Quaintance is really, really good, right? In terms of, he too has some force and some physicality, but he's very, very, very skilled. He's 6'10", 245, 250, and he plays like a guard, right? And so he gives us that forward that we've had here in the past in terms of big-time forwards that come here and do really well for themselves. We're so excited about it. And the crazy thing about it is 2 years. Like, think about that. Jaden Quaintance for 2 years, that's unheard of, right? To have a player of that magnitude, that kind of impact he's gonna have for 2 years, playing with house money, so that was unbelievable. And then Travis, right, hometown kid, his parents obviously share some relationships with the university. All he know is blue, right? He wanted to go here no matter how many people were recruiting him. This is where he wanted to be. And it says something about kids that want to be here, right? That says a lot, that means a lot. So we're excited about his passion and that he has for the University of Kentucky men's basketball program and this school and this community, him wanting to be here. He's going to be fine. I mean, he is the leading scorer in Kentucky history. So, he's a household name. And for him to want to be a part of this, we're excited about the whole group.
I loved your suit the other night. How much of an influence do you have on Coach Cal and the rest of the coaching staff?
I think we're all individuals in terms of style. Coach Cal's got some new stuff now. It was his idea. We did not influence him. No one, like, Coach, we want to go back to this. Was all Coach Cal's idea. He just came in one day and said we're going back to wearing suits. Of course, I was excited. I was probably more excited, me and Coach Bruiser, than anybody else, because we obviously, we want to look professional. It's not like high-paid gym teachers, So I think that that particular suit, I like. That was my first time wearing it. You may not see that one again, because of the kind of suit it is, you'll immediately notice if I wear it again. So probably won't wear that again, but I'm excited to show my individual style, but it's not about that, right? It's about us winning basketball games.
Coach, what does Tyler Ulis do for the program? What impact he's had so far with all these guys coming in?
A huge impact. He's a voice of influence, first of all, because he played for Coach Cal. He was in the space that the whole team is in, right? So he can speak to those guys in terms of explaining the Cal-isms, is what I like to call them, right? He can explain the Cal-isms in terms of this is what he really means by this, or this is what, you know what I mean? And in terms of being point guard, he pulls Reed to the side, Rob to the side, DJ to the side, and he gives them and drops a bunch of nuggets on them in terms of what he did, how he played, what they should do in this situation, how they should do this in that situation. So he's a huge addition to our staff in terms of his knowledge of the game. If he ever wanted to be a coach, he's going to be a great coach if that's something that he wanted to do, because he, at times, what I remember is when he played here, Coach Cal said he coached the team for the most part. He was like the guy on the floor that coached the team. So he's using those skills and he's sharing it with our young guards, and he's been a plus for us, a big plus.
Chin, Hunter Dickinson obviously put up big numbers, but what did you guys think of the way that Trey played, especially from a physicality standpoint? It seemed like he took a lot of shots, and it seemed like he didn't give him an inch throughout the night there.
I think that Trey did a good job against him. He may have ended the game with pretty good numbers, but Trey was by himself. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if Trey would have had maybe a sub or two, or, you know what I mean, it would have been a difference. Like, Trey did the best job he could have done for a 40-minute period, right? So obviously we know that we're shorthanded in that department, and hopefully that'll change sometime soon. I don't know when that will change, but hopefully it will change sometime soon. And when that does change,
When you have somebody
I just
like
leave that at that.
What does that say about him? That, I mean, I know it's fun for him to kind of be that quarterback as the 5 out on the perimeter, but there's also games like this where he has to go down there and basically take a beating for 40 minutes, and he did it.
He's been selfless, man. He's been doing whatever we asked him to do, right? He didn't necessarily come here to be fighting with Hunter Dickinson, right? He's been unbelievable in his role, starring in his role, and we're so appreciative for Trey to be able to step over and man that down for us, so to speak, until things change. But I think he battled, man. He fought, right? He blocked his shot. Come on, man. He blocked his shot. In a critical moment of the game, he blocked his shot. So we appreciate Trey and what he's done, and his best basketball is still ahead. Still ahead for him.
A lot of coaches talk about how freshmen have to learn how to play defense at this level. Do you feel like this group is ahead of the curve, or are they, where you need to be now, 3 games in?
I think we're in a good place now. You can always, continue to improve defensively, because I think that's most of the time what determines whether you win or lose a basketball game is how good you are defensively. I think that this can be a really, really good defensive team. I think we have a variety of ways that we can play based off of our personnel. So this is a smart group. So being assignment sound and locked into the scouting reports, I think, won't be an issue. I think they'll only get better at that, right? But I think we took them out of some stuff that they wanted to do. I don't think that they were prepared for us to play that way, because we changed how we played based off of the games that they've seen because of how they played. And so I think we were able to take them out of some stuff, and we caused Coach Self to kind of go deeper into his playbook. And I think this will be a group that will be able to continue to change up defensively, change up our defensive schematics based off the intelligence of our group.
The last couple of minutes, Cal said, we had 3 air balls at this and that. Did you see anything? Did they hurry themselves on those shots, or did Kansas maybe apply a little bit more pressure?
I think it was more of us executing a little better down the stretch, getting a great shot instead of a good shot, right? And I think, that's going to come in time. And I talked earlier about situational awareness and time, understanding time and score. And obviously Kansas is a pretty good defensive team. They're not going to obviously lay down and let you take, open shots. They don't try to contest everything. So don't want to discredit them. They're a really good basketball team. They're the #1 team in the country. And we had them down by 14. But they're really good defensively. We got to get better at, like Coach Cal says, the last 4 minutes of the game. And he's going to get us better and prepared for that.
There's a lot of that youth versus experience at this point in the season?
No, I don't think that that has anything to do with it. I think that, again, that fierceness that we play with, we got to kind of understand when to, taper that down a little bit, and it's about winning time. And I think we just got to get better at that particular time of the game. And Coach Cal talks about winning time is the last 4 minutes of the game, and we're gonna work on that ad nauseum so that we're better in those situations.
Chin, I'm curious, it's a couple games into the season. I know the NCAA put in some new block charge rules in the off season, so I'm just curious, as a coaching staff, have you guys coached that any differently? Have you seen it manifest?
Yeah, we have. We would love to line up and take charges, and we were gonna be a team. We started off our training camp and working on that. We had a group of guys. Like most times, you have only a few guys, 1 guy or 2 guys that will sacrifice themselves to take a charge. On most teams, that's the most heroic play that you can make, in my opinion. And this particular group, we had about 4 or 5 guys that were willing to step up and take a charge. We had multiple guys, so I thought that was going to be a huge addition to our defense. But the way that the rule is now, it's kind of hard. So we work more on body ups, Mozgovs, just going straight up instead of taking a charge, because they're probably going to call a block, especially early. Early, they're going to be high on that, and maybe it'll probably go, the chances of that later in the season may not be as high as it is right now, because that's a point of emphasis, so they're on that, right? So if you step over to take a charge, and even if you're right, maybe you're wrong, I don't know. So we got to change it a little bit.
How How much does that change, I guess, defensive philosophies, maybe just across college basketball?
Well, we shot 30-some free throws the last game, if you know. So we're going to attack the rim, continue to attack the rim. Because of that rule, gives us the advantage. Like we want to love the rim as much as we can. So we continue to attack the rim and be aggressive that way, based off the way that they're officiating the game. Maybe we can shoot, 20 plus free throws a game.